What's up guys and girls, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well and you're ready to learn something new. Today we're going to be looking at the fast tack. Now we're going to be looking at the non-planing fast tack, but the differences between the non-planing and the planing are not that big. The fast tack, in my opinion, is the most important turn to learn. It's a turn that first of all helps you get upwind when you need to. It's a turn that you can do extremely fast, and it's a turn that you can do whether you're a beginner or a very advanced rider. So even if you're just learning now, you can learn the fast tack. If you just want to get another turn in your arsenal, or if you're a wave rider and you want to get around in the waves faster, this is the turn for you. So let's jump straight into it and see how we do it.
When practicing the tack, we want to get from something like this, meaning trying it out on a big board with more volume, taking our time, and looking at every step separately, to something like this, trying it out on a small board, which we normally use, and managing to get around fast and smoothly to the other side without falling off, and managing to successfully sail away. But the best way to get there is to start on the beach. So first of all, check the wind. Direction is sideshore, slightly onshore for me, like always. We'll be sailing 90 degrees with the wind, but we want to get our board all the way into the wind. So we're looking to carve our board upwind as fast as we can, and we make sure when doing this that our body is low so as to have more stability, and our front foot is in front of the mast foot, ready for the transition. In preparation for this transition, we wrap our foot around the mast foot. This will help us get around the board smoothly. When the time comes to take our first step, we try to make it in one big movement by sliding our feet across the board. When we're in front, we try to keep our body over the center of the board so that we don't affect the board too much. And then again, one big step to the back of the board. When we are in place, we catch the wind, leading us downwind, and slowly open our sail and get into a comfortable position. So let's see that one more time. So as we're moving forwards, we have power and the board has momentum. We send the board upwind as fast as we can, trying to get it directly into the wind. While we do that, we make sure our body is low for stability and our front foot is in the front of the mast foot. We prepare by wrapping our foot around the mast and then taking big, smooth steps to get to the other side. Once there, we try to catch the power as fast as we can and send our board back downwind. The more downwind we head, the more we open up the sail and get back into a normal position. If we take a closer look to my hands here, you can see that I have my front hand up close to the mast and the back hand up against the harness lines. When the time comes to change sides, I recommend you do so by crossing your arms. It's not a big problem if you don't want to cross your arms, but the more moves you have to do, the worse it gets, in my opinion. So I recommend you always just go for it by crossing over your arms, and that way the hand that's going to be in front is in front when you're on the other side. Speaking of which, this hand becomes very important when moving into position on the other side of the board. When you want to bring the sail forwards, you have to do so by keeping that hand stretched out. And that way it keeps the sail away from you, giving you more stability, but also allows you to move the sail the same time you move your body, just by swinging it around at the same time you step back. If you allow the sail to come close to you, you'll probably end up looking like this. You must keep the hand away or you will have no stability and you will just lose balance and most likely fail the tack. So make sure you keep that sail away and be comfortable. Next up, we're going to be talking about footwork, and this is the most important part of the tack. Without correct footwork, nothing else works. Even if you do everything else correctly when it comes to positioning or sail control, without the footwork, you will simply not make it around to the other side. So like we said, we start with our front foot in front of the mast foot until we get the board pointing completely into the wind. Then it's time to get to the other side, so we prepare by putting our foot around the mast foot. When we want to make any steps on the board, we try to do them in one big move, not a lot of little steps. At the same time, we try to remember to slide our foot instead of lifting it. This way, our weight distribution on the board won't change too drastically and the board will be less affected. The hardest part is probably halfway through the transition where your feet meet at the front of the board. The best way to have your feet here is try to get your heel of your back foot touching the center of your other foot. That way both your feet are really close to the mast foot, keeping your weight centered on the board. But because this is the hardest part, you want to try spending the least amount of time here. So you've got to try and get around to the other side as fast as you can. Now, when practicing on the beach, to get the most realistic simulation you can, it is good to get the help of a friend. So if you have someone willing to pull your board around, use them. And to recap, once you're pointing all the way up into the wind, body low, front foot in front of the mast foot, and you're ready to go to the other side, put your foot in around the mast foot, step in one big step over the board, and here make sure your body's over the center of the board. Then step back with one big step again and catch the wind as fast as you can. Once you have the wind and your board starts turning downwind, the more downwind you get, the more you open up the power and get back into your normal position. That's it. So now that we've practiced on the beach and we're used to all the moves, especially the footwork, like we said, that's the most important, it's time to go on the water and try it out for real. Now, when you go on the water for the first time trying the tack, it is highly recommended that you use a bigger board. The bigger the board, the better. You don't want to be worrying too much about balance when trying out the tack for the first time. You just want to be getting the footwork down with the sensation of being on the water. Don't worry too much if your first attempts are shaky and a little bit unbalanced. We're just progressing from here into our final goal, which is to make it fast and smooth. Got to really focus on the footwork, keep the sail away from you, get your body low and over the center of the board. As you see here, we look at the feet again. They're touching each other right in the center of the board, and the step I made is very fast but not rushed. You're not trying to get there as in you're in a panic, you're just trying to smoothly get around, get as fast as you can. So we go here to the front, 1, 2 to the back, and power in immediately. Everything should be made as fast as possible, but not in a rushed way. The footwork is important because, as you see here, if you don't do the correct footwork, everything just becomes unbalanced, even on a big board. To have the best stability, however, you have to focus on your upper body as well. Pay attention how my body's over the center of the board, have my hands crossed, and then next, when I pull the sail forwards and move my body back, my arm is fully stretched. Then I power, get low, and get sailing. While on the big board, you want to get your transition as fast and as smooth as possible, in which case it'll be time to move on to a smaller board and try it out there. When on a smaller board, nothing changes. The technique remains the same. There's nothing new to learn, but everything does have to be faster and smoother. As you see here, I sink quite a lot when I do this, but I'm a big guy on a small board, so it doesn't matter as long as you stay on the board and you're able to sail away. So guys and girls, that's all for the fast tack. Remember, you have to focus on timing, speed and smoothness. I hope this video helped you out. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do drop a like, subscribe and comment with any questions you have or recommendations for videos in the future. Remember, this is the fast tack, the non-planing fast tack. For a planing fast tack, we might have another video for that later on. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.